I decided I want to have a Skyblock series on YouTube, with my goal being to get as many dollars as MR.BEAST has subscribers. When thinking of a series idea, I figured I'd go ahead and join one of the most popular Skyblock servers, so I googled what the most popular servers were on Minecraft. Every list ended up having Hypixel up towards the top, so that's why we're here. I haven't played Hypixel since I was a teenager, without a driver's license. But I remember it being a good server, so I went ahead and decided to go with this one. I expected to be making some cactus and melon farms, and then maybe at some point I'd be able to make some iron golem farms to help me make some money to complete my little series. Alright, so I've just kind of had the footage rolling so far, but I feel like you guys are all probably a little bit more familiar with the Hypixel Skyblock than I am. I opened up the world to a different looking island and a portal with some dude named Jerry on the other side. I also noticed there were objectives on the top of the screen, which I thought was pretty cool, but definitely not what I was used to. On the servers I used to play on, it was pretty much you just went and did whatever you wanted and tried to be the richest guy or group on the server. I spent a bit of time debating if choosing Hypixel was a mistake, because it's so different from what I grew up with. I mean, just opening the crafting table, like, look at this foreign thing. It's nothing I've ever seen before. I don't understand. I also realized after making my first pickaxe that you get XP from breaking blocks. A little while later, I found a whole stinking skill tree. I mean, man, I'm a simple guy, and I'm learning that the server could break me. I'm basically Nicolas Cage in The Cruise. Like, I'm happy with mining a cobblestone generator for hours on end. This is seriously gonna give me heart palpitations. Like, I can't handle this. Pretty quickly it became apparent, even with the big old bar telling me the objective on the top, that I'm going to be distracted constantly. I've got the attention span of a squirrel, so it's going to take me forever to even bother talking to Jerry. After flattening my entire island and making a nice little bridge with dirt of all blocks for some reason, I finally got to meet Jerry, and he went off with this little exposition, and it's starting to become apparent to me that this is more like an RPG than a game where I get to watch iron golems burn for a profit. Once Jerry stopped talking about the universe and the heat death or whatever he was going on about, I went ahead and went over to the little person and found out that they generate resources for me pretty much. I also found out I can literally just pick them up and put them in my freaking pocket, so I just picked up a miner and I walked away. So I went ahead and went downstairs and I found all the stuff that I would need for like an actual basic game of Skyblock. Little did I know that when I went back up there and I went through that portal, all that crap was going to be completely useless. Alright, so I ran back upstairs and through the portal because my curiosity had finally beaten my squirrel brain and let me go through. We were pretty clearly not in Skyblock anymore. Like I said earlier, I'm basically a caveman in Minecraft, so coming up to this massive village thing literally made me crap myself. I ran around for a couple seconds and then I went AFK and used the restroom, and I decided to reevaluate the decision of making a YouTube channel today. Anyways, y'all are probably wanting to know why I'm making this video and what's the point. I decided on reaching MR.BEAST's subscriber count because, big number. But now that I'm in this thing, I'm starting to realize I have no idea if this is going to be super easy or nearly impossible. Or maybe like kind of somewhere in between. So I was given the quest of talking to like 12 villagers or so. And for this whole recording, I have recorded probably about 2 hours worth of footage, and about an hour of it is me just trying to stay focused and talking to these 12 villagers, but running around and doing 100 other things and talking to 100 other people instead. I mean, look at this map at all the places I can go explore, and they want me to just start by reading a bunch of text from these villagers? I mean, that's so boring. So what, I can understand what I'm doing? No thank you, I'll figure it out as I go. After this dog leaves me alone. Alright, because there's a whole bunch of like me doing nothing, I'll give you guys some highlights of me figuring out all of this mess. I won't force you to watch me read a bunch of blocks of text. One of the first interesting things I found was this coal mine. I mean, surprise, surprise, you can mine coal in it, but it infinitely regenerates, and there's this cobblestone that does the same thing. It kind of feels like Skyblock in prison had a baby, and this is what we got. Alright, so a little later I found a gold mine and I bought myself a nice gold helmet because I had nothing better to do with my money. And I found this blacksmith guy that does this reforging stuff, which made my pickaxe better for the low price of some coal, but it's now going to start costing money and I may have spent mine on a gold helmet. Alright, and the next thing I found was this big old farming area, and of course, without question,
I ravaged their fields as if it had been a village, and I had been dying in hardcore mode, looking endlessly for somewhere to stay and gather resources.
And all of the crops regrew, so I guess this is an unlimited amount of food for us. I did some quests for this farmer guy, which mainly consisted of giving him some of the wheat I stole from him. At this point, I started to realize a lot of the progression in this game was going to be through doing quests, rather than making extreme farms. I'm hoping I'm wrong, but also I think it could be fun. A nice change from regular Skyblock. Not surprisingly, I did some more wandering in the village, and I found this villager named Jamie. They gave me a gold sword and pointed out that I have a mana bar. Apparently, there's magic in this game.
Once again, I point out I'm a man who finds joy in farming cacti for hours. We are not in my element here.
Anyway, the sword makes me fast and feel like the Flash, so that was nice. Alright, so at this point, I met this cool bartender named Bartender. He asked me to kill some zombies, which, you kind of expect every bartender to at some point in your relationship with them. And he gave me a chance to use my flash sword, which I was really wanting to use. Once I got there, I quickly remembered why I play Skyblock and not Sky Wars. These zombies bent me over and beat me, moved on with my dignity and a few bruises. Alright, so after that, I ran off into the forest and I met with a lumberjack named Lumber Jack. These guys' parents must have kind of known what their kids were going to do or something when they were going to grow up. Anyways, this is going to be a shocker, but after talking to this guy, I kind of found a place where I can get all sorts of wood. Alright, so at this point, I kind of felt like I had found all my basic necessities. I found a place to go farming, I found a place to go mining in, and I went ahead and found a place to go get some wood from. So I went ahead and kept on exploring because I still felt adventurous at this point in time. And eventually I came up on this guy that had a hot air balloon. And he took me to this big fancy monument of myself. I guess I called it a museum or whatever. But I mean, I think I'm going to end up spending a lot of time here. I mean, look at this guy. He's a pretty handsome dude. Alright, so after spending an amount of time that y'all would be uncomfortable with knowing about, staring at myself, I went ahead and spent the next 30 minutes of my life desperately looking for this last villager to complete that stupid quest. What, y'all forgot about talking to that villager? Trust me, I did too. I don't know why these things take me so long. So after I finished this quest, which was literally just the starter quest, it was the simplest thing, it's just I'm horrible at this game, I went out looking for some purpose among the fields. I felt a little safer here, a little bit more among my people with these farmhands. I was then taught how to create a person from a hoe and some wheat. Okay, I was wrong. These people are not simple and I do not understand this game. Alright, so after making my own person and now having 2 people in my pocket, it had dawned on me, I don't know how to make money. I got 2 mouths to feed and I don't got no income. That is not going to end up going good for me. So I started trying to figure out how to sell this produce I've been gathering. Alright, once again, it should not have taken me this long, but eventually I did find these merchants I could sell pretty much anything to and they give me some money for it. So finally I had a way to feed these little people I had in my pocket. And, arguably more importantly, start making my way towards having as much money as MR.BEAST has subscribers. You know, keep kids fed, have as many dollars as MR.BEAST has subscribers. Priorities? I don't know. Also, after writing the script and deciding to look up how many subs MR.BEAST actually has, like, I knew it was a big number, but I didn't know exactly how many. How does this man have that many subscribers? Like, that's more subscribers than most countries do have people. It's insane. I don't know how I'm going to hit that number. Once again, I don't really know what it's relative to. Maybe it's super easy, but I kind of doubt it. Now that I knew how to make some money, I gave myself 2 goals before ending this episode. One, to have 10,000 bones in my hand, and the other to have a roof over my head on my island. So I got hard to work stealing other people's crops that I did not grow myself, and it didn't take too long for me to have 10 grand. So hopefully that's a good sign that with any luck, I'll have $141 million by episode 2. Just gonna need a little off-screen mining time. I went back to my island to start making myself a humble little home. I'm starting to quickly realize I actually might not spend that much time on this little island. It just kind of seems like everything is on this hub world. It's pretty fun, it's just very interesting and not what I expected at the start of the video. So this is my completed little home. It's not much, but it's where I live, and it's about the best I'm capable of building. So this is the second task completed out of my 2 goals of getting the $10,000 and getting the home complete. So between this episode and the next one, I'm planning on doing a little bit of research on this high-pixel skyblock because I clearly was not ready for this. I'm hoping I can evolve from a Nicolas Cage to a Ryan Reynolds and start owning this world. I'm sorry y'all had to endure this absolute mess, but until next time, oonga boonga.